With the Hammer Films 20-movie Blu-ray box set now available from Mill Creek Entertainment, we are given unprecedented access to the collaboration between Hammer Films and Columbia Pictures. This is really a wonderful box set collecting 20 movies from the Hammer-Columbia partnership. Our full review of all 20 movies coming up right after this. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this episode we are talking about the new Hammer Films 20-movie Blu-ray box set from Mill Creek Entertainment. I love this. This is an amazing box set, and I said at the top of the video that it's unprecedented. Listen, we've had Hammer box sets, lots of Hammer box sets over the years, but we've never had 20 movies on Blu-ray in HD in one single box set before. And there's a thesis. The thesis is not just Hammer movies. These are Hammer movies made for Columbia Pictures. And that's an important distinction because, of course, we love these movies, right? We love the monster movies, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. You're not going to find a bigger Peter Cushing fan than me. You guys know that. We talk about these movies as often as we can. But this is a different story. This box set presents these 20 movies. You know, we've got the monster movies. We've got Frankenstein. He's represented. The Gorgon is represented. The Mummy is represented, but this is so much more than that because this is Hammer through Columbia really trying to capture an American audience. They're trying to show what they're capable of. There's a diversity of films. So we're talking about psychological thrillers. We're talking about some very kind of trippy science fiction stuff. We're talking about swashbucklers. We're talking about cave woman movies. We're talking about war films. Hammer, you guys, this is all part of the Hammer story. So I love this. What I've learned through the documentary, there's an 11-minute documentary here by Daniel Griffith's Ballyhoo Motion Pictures featuring C. Courtney Joyner. You know, C. Courtney Joyner just popped up on our coverage for the Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Such an expert, such a repository of this knowledge, and I love it. And one of the things that I learned in the documentary here is that between 1957 and 1964, that's the duration of this partnership between Hammer and between Columbia. 31 movies are produced during this window. We've got 20 of them here. Let's just go through these. We'll go through. We'll be quick, right? 20 movies is a lot, so we'll just go kind of quickly. We'll talk about transfers, things like that. I do have the booklets. If you did not receive a booklet in your, check out that art. If you did not receive a booklet in your purchase of this box set, go down to the description of this video. Under me in the video description, I'm going to have instructions per Mill Creek on how you can get your hands on a booklet. It seems like maybe something happened at the warehouse during the packing phase. Some aren't included, but we'll get you the booklet. If you bought the box set, you get the booklet. You get the booklet. Okay, guys, this booklet is really informative. So let's start with The Curse of Frankenstein. Sorry, the Revenge of Frankenstein. It's Peter Cushing. You know, it's full on Frankenstein monster goodness. I've been asked by several of you guys if I could tell you which. The original Mill Creek Blu-ray of this from about 4 years ago, as I'm recording this, it used a transfer. It's kind of a dated transfer. It's not a new. It's, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like these transfers, these high definition films, they run a spectrum. Some of them look really great. These Are the Damned is gorgeous. It's a beautiful transfer. But some of them are just, you know, they've been around for a while. They're kind of just archival Blu-ray high definition transfers. And they're perfectly serviceable. But the Revenge of Frankenstein master that's used here is the one that was used on the Mill Creek previous release. There is a newer version that has showed up on a European release. And I asked because I wanted to report to you guys if this was requested, and I was told Mill Creek Entertainment always requests the latest, best transfers for their releases. So make of that what you will. It sounds like maybe, you know, we're not privy to the business deals of these companies, but it's nice to know that the best one was requested. So that's for what it's worth. The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, really cool mummy movie. That one looks, that's another one that looks pretty good. I've seen some speculation that Mill Creek was just using the same discs. They've done 4 double feature releases, and people are like, I think they're just using the same discs. They're not. These are new discs. They're new authoring's. They have new special features. These are The Damned. You guys never saw this movie before. It's one of my favorite discoveries from this box set. Blew me away. Oliver Reed is a very naughty boy. The movie is one thing for the first half, and then it turns into something completely different. And now for something completely different. It's great. It is great. And it is dark as night. It is just black as it can be. It's not horror, but it's something pretty freaky. Loved it. What a wonderful discovery thanks to this box set. The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. That's an old favorite. I love that one. Super... kind of risque. Like, I still can't believe it. That movie was made in the 50s, was it not? That was a 1960. And it feels like maybe 1972. Like, they were way ahead of their time on that one. The Old Dark House. This is a remake. It's a William Castle version of The Old Dark House, perhaps not a remake. Best not to approach it as a remake of, the movie with Boris Karloff. It's goofy. It's fun. It's deliberately. It's William Castle. Enough said, right? But it's Tom Poston, who is the leading man in this movie. It's goofy fun. It's intentionally goofy fun. The Gorgon. It's one of my favorites. I really do love the Gorgon. It's Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee together. They would often be antagonists. Protagonist and antagonist. Van Helsing, Dracula, or Frankenstein, and then the nobleman or whoever. They're kind of working together on this one. That's actually kind of cool. Cash on Demand. My favorite movie in the entire box set. I'd never seen it before. It's a neo-noir. Peter Cushing is the... he's over a bank. He's like the administrator of a bank, like a small town bank. And there's a robbery that happens. The movie takes place in real time, like an episode of 24, and there's a robbery, and he starts the movie basically as Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. It's the closest I've ever seen him to Moff Tarkin outside of Star Wars. You may fire when ready. Just cold, clinical, completely reserved, hawk-like, that hawk-like persona. The journey he does in this movie, the journey he takes in the course of this movie, it's the best Peter Cushing performance I've ever seen. It really is. It's like we're watching a stage play. Peter Cushing is wonderful to watch. I don't know that he gets credit as like an actor. Of course he's in all these movies. He's in a lot of B movies. He's in a lot of exploitation. That's a fact. He's a really wonderful actor, and it's all in Cash on Demand. The Snorkel is another one that I had never seen before, and it blew me away. This guy murders this woman, he commits a murder in this house, and he almost gets away with it, and then their child, it's not his child, but the child of the people he murders is onto him, and she doesn't trust him. And he's got to I got to eliminate you now. But he's got to do it in a way that it seems like maybe it's an accident. And so the whole movie is this guy, and the Snorkel plays a very interesting, that device plays a very interesting part in the movie. Really creepy, great ending. It's wonderful. Maniac and Die Die My Darling are both kind of the psychological variety. Maniac is... I feel like it kind of comes on the heels of Psycho. This is 1963. It feels sort of in the shadow of Psycho. It's not a bad thing, That's not a detraction. Die Die My Darling has Tallulah Bankhead in it, doing one of her latter, kind of finishing her career, and she is phenomenal. She's scary. She's like a religious zealot, and those get under my skin like nobody's business. That movie also stars Stephanie Powers. If you're a Stephanie Powers fan, she's in that as well, and it's great. It's a really, these movies, they're all different, They're psychological thrillers, but they do it in different ways. Stop Me Before I Kill. Again, psychological stuff, there's like a racing motif to it. Never Take Candy from a Stranger. I just realized I'm not showing you guys the pictures. Never Take Candy from a Stranger. It's a tough sit, man. It's tough. It's about a pedophile and No one believes the kid. Ooh, it's rough. But you know what? That's horror right there. Scream of Fear is paired with I was going to go on with Stranglers of Bombay. Scream of Fear is another one of those that Christopher Lee is in. This Susan Strasberg. I'm trying to think how to summarize this for you. Woman in a wheelchair. Wheelchair horror. Wheelchair thriller. This is a wheelchair thriller. Stranglers of Bombay and Terror of the Tongs are both... They're totally exploitation movies, right? Stranglers of Bombay is basically about the Thuggee cult. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The Thuggee, Kali Ma, all that stuff. It's here. I would not be surprised if this movie was an inspiration for Steven Spielberg and George Lucas as they were making the Temple of Doom. Also, you know, there's earlier Hollywood references that there's Cary Grant films and stuff, but I feel like that's maybe a direct connection. And we know George Lucas loves Christopher Lee because, well, he loves both of these guys because he's put them in he put Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in his films. Terror of the Tongs is kind of the same thing. It's about, you know, the wild, violent, terrorizing gangs of, you know, of the Tongs and how they would... I'm trying to be politically correct. It's Christopher Lee dressed up like an Asian, and it's, you know, well, he was Fu Manchu, right? So, the Pirates of Blood River, love pirate movies. We don't have enough pirate movies. I love pirate movies. That's paired with Sword of Sherwood Forest. This is the... it's Richard Green basically reprising his role from the TV series, the Robin Hood TV series, on the big screen. I think he may be the only actor to have done that. I want to say, because I reviewed this in a previous Mill Creek box set. There's a Robin Hood box set. And if memory serves me correctly, Richard Green was the only actor to reprise his role from a TV series in the film, definitely for Robin Hood. Peter Cushing is in that as well as he's the Sheriff of Nottingham. Very great bad guy. A bad guy we love to hate. The Camp on Blood Island and and Yesterday's Enemy. Camp on Blood Island, World War II, POW sort of a movie. They're in this prison camp. Blood Island too. You know, a lot of companies in the '60s, around this time, that whole Blood Island thing was just this exploitation trope. And then Yesterday's Enemy, it takes place in Burma, and it's a very hard-hitting, very graphic, very nihilistic war film about the real horrors of war. Not what you expect from Hammer, right? And the Creatures the World Forgot, that is the last of Hammer's cave woman movies. 1 Million Years BC, Prehistoric Women, When Dinosaurs Rule the Earth, and Creatures the World Forgot. The others are available from other companies, but we get to wrap up our collection with this one. The featurettes, there is Hammer at Columbia Pictures. That's 11 minutes. That's Daniel Griffith's Ballyhoo. It's great with C. Courtney Joyner, the man. The Actors of Hammer is about 8 minutes with David Delvalle, who's another guy that I really respect and admire his perspective on these things. And the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb retrospective, and the Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll retrospective. These are two, I think this is Daniel Griffith narrating these for us, and it's basically just giving us facts about like how these movies came to be, what they, how they performed, on sets, just giving us the dirt about those movies. We got commentaries for Revenge of Frankenstein, The Old Dark House, The Gorgon, The Snorkel, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, and Scream of Fear. This is a loaded package. I mean, really, it's an incredible value, and to have discovered so much here. Again, Cash on Demand, The Snorkel, so many movies that just weren't on my radar, because when we think Hammer, we're not thinking of like a neo-noir bank robbery movie. That's not what I think of when I think of horror, of Hammer horror, though they do have a lot of noir films. We talked about Hammer's experience with noir in our Icons of Horror Hammer Films episode, but I just love this. This was, again, this and the Inner Sanctum Mysteries were among my most anticipated releases of the entire year. Did not disappoint one bit. 20 movies in this one box set with these special features. I've watched the 11-minute documentary. I've watched it twice just because it's so informative and it's just so good. Guys, that's going to do it for this. If you're picking it up, I want to know about it. I want to continue that conversation in the comments below. I'm going to put a link to where you can buy this in the description of this video. So you can just scroll under me. You'll see where you can get your booklet if you didn't get one. And you'll see where you can order this box set. I highly recommend it. I love Hammer Films. And I love that we have so much of this Hammer goodness all in one place, all at one time on Blu-ray. We're living in blessed times. These are charmed times. Charmed times. We're so lucky. Guys, thanks so much. Take care, and until next time, I will catch you later.